Peace Region native Shannon Butler is accessorizing homes across the region with her one-of-a-kind functional art. I caught up with the up-and-coming artist at her Fort St. John studio and discovered what fuels her passion for the world of arts and so much more. So for people who don't know Shannon Butler, who is Shannon Butler? Where are you from? And tell me about your history a little bit.
I'm from Rose Prairie, BC, which is half an hour north of Fort St. John. I grew up on a farm there with my parents my whole life. And I went away to school. I went to Emily Carr in Vancouver, and I went to the Alberta College of Art and Design in Calgary, and I got my degree in ceramics. So I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from there, and then I came back, and then I opened Kilnhouse.
Tell me about the first time that someone walked through these doors and actually bought one of your items and actually gave you an accolade saying, hey, I love what you're doing.
So I opened last August 16th, 2008, and I had a big opening, and so I invited tons of people and I didn't know. I spent 3 months filling the store and everything, and I didn't know if people were going to come, if they were going to buy anything, how it was going to go over, and I just took a leap of faith, and tons of people came, and I sold half of my work that night, and it was like a great feeling, you know, and I felt really positive about doing this here. You know.
So speaking of this community here, you've always imagined yourself living here and I guess opening your store in Fort St. John. Why is that?
I don't know. Just when I was envisioning opening a store in art school, like I was saying earlier, I imagined it on Main Street in Fort St. John, and that's just maybe where I could picture it because I grew up here, and it just seemed doable and like tangible to me. And then that's kind of what happened. Not on Main Street. I'm a little out of the way, but it did happen that way. So. Yeah.
So now that we know a little bit more about you, tell me about your art and where you get inspired, because there's some beautiful stuff, and I'm wearing one of your necklaces right now and it's quite lovely. So what was your first piece that you've made, and then you branched out to necklaces and stuff like that? Like, how did it go? How did it evolve?
I make functional work. I make like everything from mugs and bowls, vases, all of that stuff that you can actually use in your home, use in the dishwasher, and use to eat out of. It's all food safe and all the rest of it.
Dishwasher friendly is probably like your selling point right there, because a lot of people just want to put it in the dishwasher, forget about it. So that's good.
And it's microwave safe too. Some pottery isn't, but this stuff is. So that's important. So I make that stuff. I love doing that, but I also love doing more sculptural pieces too once in a while. If I am sick of making functional work, I'll do like a sculptural goddess. I make some goddesses. There's a series of my goddess canvas prints at Whole Wheat and Honey right now on that wall, and so I like to have one goddess in the store at all times. They do take a long time. They take like a week to make, so I can't just like whip them off and have them in here all the time, but I like to do those. I like to challenge myself that way. And then I also like to say my work is functional sculpture sometimes too. And there's a jug that I made in the back today that'll show you that is like, it's sculptural, but it is functional too. So there's that stuff too. And then I make necklaces. The necklaces are a big seller for me, and I like making pretty things for women to wear.
So I heard that you get your inspiration from friends, from family, from experiences that you've lived in your life. And you write them down on a chalkboard. Is that true?
Where did you get your... was that on my blog?
Yeah. Did my research on you.
Oh, no. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, like a lot of potters and artists, you know, they look at other pottery or other art, but I really don't like to do that at all. My work is very intuitive, and it's really just about life. And it's really just a celebration of life. When it comes down to it, that's what my work is. They're pretty happy, these pieces. So
is there one piece in particular that you're kind of fond of and that you've had a hard time selling, or you didn't even sell at all because it was so special to you?
You know, I was so hard up for money at Christmas time.
Oh no.
I had this gnome, and his name was Bert, and I photographed him like all over the piece country. And he was so cool. He was like my little buddy. I photographed him all over the place, kind of like the Travelocity gnome or whatever. And I thought I'd have him forever and that I'd never sell him. And so I just put a ridiculously high price. I put $140 on him, I think. And I put him in the window because I was really hard up for cash to you. And a guy came in one day and just bought him. And I tried to discourage him. I was like, you know how much it costs, right? And he's like, yep, no problem. And so he bought the gnome, and my family couldn't believe it. They were like, you sold Bert?
Memories are priceless, Shannon. Come on. Where are we going to see your name in 10 years? Shannon Butler, ... starring in, or, opening a new store in where? Your dream.
Oh, I have no idea, actually, Kathy. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to keep applying for grants, and, I love this here right now, and I don't have any plans on leaving, but I have to do whatever I can. So if a better opportunity came along, I would have to take it. And I want to, I'm in this for the long run. I want to be an artist, for the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to do.
And now you're going to show me, I guess, a little bit of how to to operate the whole wheel for pottery. Is it hard?
It's not easy at first. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not, but it takes a while to learn how to center. Centering is the tough part. I could maybe do that for you.
So let's go in the studio and check it out.
Okay, cool.
Tune in next week as I attempt to spin the pottery wheel and produce a unique design for the CJDC TV news crew. For Around the Piece, I'm Kathy Mueller.